Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Bog Panda. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram.
And I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment, check out our merchandise, turn on notifications, get Kelly's portrait gracefully tattooed to your inner thigh. Whatever it is that you need to do to share the message of Bog Panda.
Yeah, you'd want a graceful tattoo. An ungraceful tattoo would not.
No, you don't want like a prison tattoo with like thick lines or anything like that.
But Mike knows a thing or two about prison tattoos. So if you're looking for some advice on those, just drop him a line in the comments. He'll be sure to help you out. So 2021 is almost over.
It is, yes.
Big year. Names
It was.
changed. Squat Cobbler died. Bog Panda showed up. We got into doing retro gaming content much more this year, and that was pretty fun to do. Good addition to it. And you'll still get your Alice Cooper stuff, recommendations, and of course Mike and I weighing in on the issues of the day. You continue to get those from time to time, but it's been a pretty fun year. This is just a year-end show. We're just kind of just sharing a little bit, kind of looking at 2020 versus 2021. Would love your comments to say what would you like to see in the future. Definitely want to hear from you on that. But just to give you some numbers here, Mike, we'll compare 2020 to 2021 in terms of views.
Ready, sir.
For the channel, we had almost 18,000 views in 2020 and almost 32,000 views in 2021. So
32 is more.
32 is more, almost double, almost twice the number of views, which is pretty cool. But those ever important watch hours that we can continue to drive towards getting more and more of those, around 864 hours of viewing in 2020, up to now a larger number for you, Mike, 1,400 hours of viewing in 2021.
That's more again.
Yep. 2 for 2. And we're going to be 3 for 3. Although I was surprised here. And I'm a little confused by YouTube's nomenclature here, or how they indicate the numbers, because it says in 2020, they give very specific numbers for everything else. But when it comes to subscribers, it said we had 99 plus for 2020, and we had 101 plus for 2021. So basically we got more views, longer watches from folks, added about the same numbers of subscribers, which we definitely want to continue to try and do on our quest to achieve monetization one day. But it was interesting to see that basically the same number of subscribers for the last 2 years.
I feel like that's good though.
Yep.
Those numbers all sound good to me.
Yeah, they're all headed the right direction. It's thanks to the folks that watch. So thank you again. So I did think it would be kind of interesting for the year in review to just really quickly touch on for 2021 what were our top 10 videos. But before we do that, do you have like a favorite show, if you can recall, over the past year?
Man, we've done so many. The Halloween show would definitely be up there for me. And I know that's got to be on there because I know that's one that did big numbers. For anybody who is interested, that was obviously a promoted video. So that got it out to a much larger audience. We did pick up a couple subscribers after that too. So that's awesome. But that one was a lot of fun to do, like a larger scale show like that. And I would definitely, I don't know if you'd be up for it, but I would be up for doing something like that again in the future.
Oh, most definitely. That it was fun to do, and based on our experience with the holiday video, the Christmas video, I think what we've discovered is we're going to have a little better success if we actually kind of force the person to come online with us and talk to us, just versus saying, yeah, shoot a video and send it to us. It's a little easier when we can kind of get them to commit. And in fact, some of the folks we asked, Allison Victoria was one, as I had kind of followed up, said, hey, you're going to be able to do that video. And she goes, oh, I thought you guys were going to invite me to a live show and we're going to record it and things like that. So, but yeah, I like that format. It's fun to do. We've got a lot of interesting folks that we can kind of bring on. It would be in any opportunity to get Mr. LaGreca back. He's fun to do some things. Obviously, Nikki's fantastic, as is Rebecca Kennedy, Gerald Webb. So there's a lot of folks out there. We'd also like to maybe get back to some of our friends from back in the dark times, the Snarkalic radio times, to get some of that crew on some of the shows as well. So I definitely think we'll do a few more things there, do a few more guests. We haven't done a ton of those. So we'll definitely be looking into that. But go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, anything with guests is good. Another favorite for me was Dave LaGreca's first appearance. That was fun, doing Alice stuff and having another guest on. I think it'd be interesting to get a retro gamer guest on.
Yeah.
So we can talk some retro gaming with.
Yeah. Most definitely. And there's a couple topic areas as we go over our top 10 here that we might be able to hone in and say, maybe we're looking for somebody who's interested in this, because there's a definite pattern you're going to see on what's going on for our top 10. But yeah, I pretty much track with you. My favorite one was the LaGreca episode, because one, we were talking about Alice Cooper, which is always fun. And it was just neat he had stumbled across our channel. Really liked the Alice Cooper stuff. He's a big fan, has a point of view on things, and it was just really fun to kind of go through. So if you folks have it, we will include a link to that video in the description. But the easiest thing to do is subscribe to the channel, and then at your leisure, browse through our playlists, and you can see all of the content. But that was definitely a fun one. But you were on the money. It was a promoted video that certainly helped. But the Halloween Spectacular was our number one video for 2021. In terms of the second place, and you're going to hear CoinOps a lot, because CoinOps actually is like 3 or 4 of the top 10. Getting CoinOps to work on your Legends Ultimate with App Store X, and this was CoinOps worked a certain way when the Legends came out. They changed some things with how it needed to work with App Store X. So we did kind of a quick little tutorial on how to get that to work. And that has been a very, very popular video, or second most popular one of it. Sticking with that games, how to stream from your Legends Ultimate locally. That was number 3. Then a couple CoinOps. The update on the CoinOps X and our first Super Console X, the update on Super Console X, and our original show on Super Console X. And this was my Super Console X. And we were talking about it because, Mike, what happened with your Super Console X?
It was one of the many odysseys that we covered throughout the year. Me getting a working Super Console X, as well as finally getting my X Games Legends Mini.
Yes. Yeah, you had some bad luck.
Yeah, it didn't work out for me.
Yeah, I'm glad you hung with it on both, because it's gonna be fun to talk about shared experiences now that you're kind of in the At Games ecosystem, so we can kind of talk about that. There's going to be Mike's got a lot to say on his experience, and he is in a better position than me, because he's got both Arcade 1-Up experience and now the Legends experience. So we'll be able to get some good comparison contrasts there, and that'll be pretty cool to see. But yeah, those two CoinOps, I keep saying CoinOps. Those two Super Console X shows did really, really well as well. Now I can say CoinOps X, because I did a little quick tutorial video on how you need to use your buttons to kind of travel through the huge menu that is CoinOps X. And that did really well. And then first impressions of Detroit Stories, Alice Cooper content.
Okay.
I see it crack the top 10. I was at number 7. So I was actually surprised our show with Dave didn't make the top 10, but it didn't. So a shocker at number 8. Nurture and support content. This podcast I do with our buddy Mel. We've been kind of on and off for a little while because of her internet accessibility issues. But this bad boy has been around about 3 years. It's for those of you who don't know, Nurture and Support's a recommendation podcast. And there's a lady in Texas that I do it with, and she's a gamer. She's a big reader. And so we'll each kind of offer recommendations to each other and kind of pop culture and those kinds of things. But it was a show about an electric tea kettle that Mel had just purchased. And then I talked about the fact that I had finally begun to use GIMP as a graphics editing tool, because I had for the longest time stuck with a very, very dated version of some Windows software that was just not right. Shouldn't have been using it. So I finally got on the bandwagon, learned how to use GIMP, very Photoshop-esque in terms of using it. And the title includes the term GIMP tutorial. And so my hunch is a lot of folks go to it thinking, oh, I'm going to get a tutorial on how to use GIMP. And it's this knucklehead going, yeah, I just learned how to use GIMP and it's cool. End of tutorial. So the retainment rate from folks starting that video and leaving it, it's one of the shorter ones we have on the channel. But it continues to do really well in terms of people checking it out to begin with. So that was pretty cool. And then finally, and this was kind of a customer service show around Mike's Super Console X challenges and some things that I had going on with that games for a period of time. And that kind of rounded out the top 10. So at games content, Super Console X content, coin ops, Alice, and our friends. So that's the year.
All makes sense to me. Now, was there anything on there that surprised you?
No, not really, beyond the fact I mentioned it earlier. I really would have thought, because Dave LaGreca is kind of a big deal. he is in the kind of pro wrestling orbit, but he's got a big fan base. He sells a lot of merch. There's folks. He's got this show on Sirius Radio, and he's just super fun to have on. And I was just surprised, given he's got a lot of fans, that we didn't kind of pick up more with Dave. So that was probably the biggest surprise to me from that and that kind of the weirdness of that nurture and support video, which year after year just kind of harvests people in. But I think it's due to, wasn't intentional, but apparently a bit of a misleading title to the video that seems to generate a lot of folks. So maybe we need to put GIMP tutorial on the end of all of our videos.
Kelly clickbait tool strikes again.
There you go. We'll kind of do that. But that was it. Anything you were surprised or wasn't on that list, or?
No, I think everything kind of lined up with what I expected. So how many views total is that nurture and support video up to? That's what I'm curious.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to see if I can bring that up without actually having it play. See how that goes. But I think it actually has a pretty nice place in our. No, it's not huge. I mean, it has only 814 views since it was published, but that was enough. And it's kind of odd, because realistically this year the top 4 or 5 videos we had were all over 2,000 or 3,000 views. They all did really well. But yeah, so it's only got 800 views. So it's interesting, but it hangs in there. On the Alice stuff, and maybe we'll do a show sometime and kind of go back through the Alice albums. What continues to shock me is the very high rise, the very quick rise of Special Forces, which has now kind of left about everything in the dust except obviously our most watched Alice videos, the Killer Review, followed by $1 Billion Babies, followed by Love It to Death. Those are all really big in the view count. But Special Forces is closing on Love It to Death, which I find surprising. But it's done really well as well. So, and that's with our Alice views, is we don't get, they're steady. I mean, almost all the Alice stuff gets between, like, ultimately after they've kind of been out there a while, between 1,000 and 2,000 views, most of the Alice stuff gets to. So, which is, not bad. But yeah, I've been really surprised Special Forces has kind of taken off as much as it did. But that's just advice to everyone listening, is if you haven't checked out Alice Cooper's Special Forces, maybe you should. And there's a review available for you if you want to get a better sense of what it's all about.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything specific you're looking forward to doing next year? Anything different, maybe?
So I think more guests. I like that. I think we want to kind of bring some folks on. It'd be great, to your point, to bring on some retro gaming folks. I think that would be very cool to do. So do the guest thing a little bit more. I am looking very much, because you do have that background now with both at games experience and arcade one up experience to talk about that. So I think kind of hearing kind of your, as you've settled in now here and you've had more time with the mini and have overcome the trauma of it never being delivered forever, and kind of with clearer eyes take a look at what's going on. I'm very interested to kind of hear your experiences on that. That's going to open the door too for Mike and I to do some of the within the At Games infrastructure. You get the ability to do some co-play and do some things where Mike and I can kind of either play pinball online together or try some other things out. And so we'll see how that works as well. There's also the ability to do chat, voice chat kind of over the network as well. And so what might be fun, since you can also stream from At Games, is we may do a show on the At Games infrastructure, and have our audio there and kind of do that. And that might be kind of fun. So I think kind of doing something with that, the At Games online stuff will be cool. Want to hear your experiences on that. Going to continue to dig more into Super Console X and all the awesomeness that's there, and kind of play with that. So I think kind of going into those will be good. The Amiga Mini 500 should show up sometime. I think March is now the date that they're saying it may start to ship. So talking more Amiga is always fun. Kind of, it's been pretty cool as you started to dip your toe in the water on that world to see your interest. So I think that so Amiga content, some of the At Games online stuff, your experiences are kind of all big on my list. What are your thoughts for 2022?
Same thing. I'm really anxious for us to especially delve more into pinball. I'm really excited about that. I'm interested in maybe doing some stuff about obviously you're going to do a lot of At Games content, especially because we both have an Legends Ultimate cabinet. I have the mini, you have the full size. I definitely want to talk a little bit about their leaderboards and kind of delve into that. I think that could be, not just its own show, but do some kind of like updates as you and I sort of post things to the leaderboards and see how that's going. Maybe
that's probably going to be more you than me, but in terms of leaderboard, you got a little more experience and talent than I do in that space. But we can talk about it. You can make fun of me. So.
But I think that kind of stuff will be good. I'm really looking forward to. We've threatened it a few times, and I think Kelly's warmed up enough to the idea of doing a Bog Panda After Dark thing where we'll do some segments. We'll do some game reviews of some of the more adult retro game content that's out there.
Yeah, that warmed up's generous, but I'm not as actively resisting the After Dark theory anymore. I do think it will be
You're just laying there and letting it happen.
Yeah, it'll be an exercise in creative editing, I have a feeling. So.
Well, see, that's the thing though. I think like I've seen plenty of videos online where people will pick out one of these games or something and full on show like video of the games. So I think as long as we are careful in our wording and things like that, I think we'll be fine.
I'm glad you're so confident.
I am.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, no, I think the After Dark stuff could prove interesting as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then we're going to, we have threatened this also a couple of times. We'll continue to explore in 2022, depending on if we're allowed to travel and different things like that. A live Bog Panda show would be fun to do from some location, and we'll just have to continue to sort out what our options are for that.
Yeah, I would love to do something like that. I'd love to have you here to do something where we're both playing at the same time. That would be really cool. Something along those lines.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yep, I'll man your old time photo booth in your arcade. Kind of bring the people in, help you get that all kind of ready to go, because that'll be
just start posting pictures of you and the kids just looking dejected.
yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
cool. Excellent. Well, hey, it's been a good year. It's been a lot of fun. So we did the whole shift from Squat Cobbler to Bog Panda. That's in the rearview mirror now. We're moving along just fine on that. So did really want to just thank everyone who's left us a comment, liked or disliked our videos to give us feedback on that, chose to subscribe. Any of you folks that have done any of that, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We would still very much like to hear from you. If there's a type of content that you think you'd like to see us cover, we're all ears, like to kind of hear on that. So I just want to say thanks.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And I mean, if anything, if we're gonna throw anything new into the mix, I think it's probably sticking with the retro theme, Keller's reviews of retro porn films.
Not warming up to that one on that note.
We'll see. 2023, it's happening.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.